Zambezi Zinger is the newest roller coaster to be added to Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri. Built by GCI, this is the first new coaster to be added to the park since Prowler in 2009, so 14 years between coasters. It's been a while. I made my way down to Worlds of Fun in its opening week and got 3 rides on it, and I have to say, I think this is a great addition to the park. So what makes this such a great new coaster, and how does it stack up to the rest of the coasters at Worlds of Fun? Welcome to Ejector Airtime, and this is my review of the new Zambezi Zinger. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content, and also give this video a like as that'll really help against the YouTube algorithm. So Zambezi Zinger is located in the Africa section of Worlds of Fun, and its name is a tribute to one of the park's original coasters that operated here until its removal in 1997. This was a Schwarzkopf speed racer, and if you need an idea what that version was like, think Whizzer at Six Flags Great America. In fact, the original Zambezi Zinger still operates in Colombia and South America, so you could still experience it today. Anyway, Zambezi Zinger was a very popular coaster during its run at the park, and I've heard those who rode the original were quite disappointed to see it go. But for the park's 50th anniversary, Worlds of Fun announced they would be paying homage to the original with a reimagined version, this time as a wooden coaster. This new version was designed by GCI, and it is the first ground-up coaster they built to feature their new steel Titan track and their new Infinity Flyer trains. It also features a number of similarities to the original Zinger, including the spiral lift hill, a tunnel, and it's also built in the same location as the original version, even making use of the same queue building. Let's talk about some of the stats. So Zambezi Zinger is 74 feet tall, which is taller than the original at only 56 feet. It has a top speed of 45 miles per hour, and I have to be honest, I thought it felt faster than that since a lot of the elements are rather tight, so you get great laterals on some of the bank turns and transitions. The track length is just over 2,400 feet long, and according to Worlds of Fun's website, it says the ride time is 2 minutes, but I'm pretty sure that time includes the lift. Even though the layout features Titan track, the majority of this ride is wood, and the only sections that feature the Titan track are the lift hill and the bank turn that wraps around it. What really impressed me here is how fluid the transitions were, going from one track type to the other. You can definitely hear the difference, but I don't remember feeling it at all. So what else is new? Well, they've added a safari theme to the coaster and the surrounding area. The entrance to the queue mentions safari tours, so you can see posters showing different locations in Africa, and the station has a sign above it that says Safari Base Camp, which further ties into this theme quite well. We already mentioned the new trains, which allow riders to sit side by side, unlike the toboggan seats of the original. And unlike the Millennium Flyer trains of Prowler, these new Infinity Flyers have hydraulic restraints and no seatbelt. I really like the design of these trains. They feature styling to make the front look kind of like a safari jeep, and if you look carefully, you can see a code on the side that says Z1973, which is clearly a nod to the opening year of the original. I found these trains to be fairly comfortable, but the one little heads up I'll give about these trains is the minimal amount of leg room. I heard a few people in line saying how it feels a little tight if you're a taller rider, so be prepared to deal with that. I rode Zambezi Zinger 3 times during my visit, once in the front row, once in the back, and once in row 6. If you like picking your row, just know that the ride ops are only going to be accommodating depending on the time of day and how long the line is. For my first ride of the day, they assigned me to row 6. I asked for the last row, but they assigned rows at that time since the line was a little bit longer. But when I came back later in the day when the line wasn't quite as long, they let me take my front and back row rides. I'm a back row rider, and row 8 is definitely the best place to experience this coaster, but you're still in for a great ride regardless of where you're sitting. In the last row, you get good sustained floater off the first drop, and the laterals feel stronger on some of the transitions. One element that caught me off guard is the dip that follows the bank turn around the lift hill. You enter it after curving to the left, and I was expecting it to drop straight off, but instead it sharply turns you to the right, and then back in the other direction as you bottom out. This leads into another great feature, the tunnel, which gives a great head chopper effect as you enter. The other element I really liked was the final zigzag section before the brake run. This is definitely where you get the best laterals. Overall, it has a great layout and offers a very fun ride experience. When I first learned about this coaster, I didn't think another Woody would be the best addition, as Worlds of Fun's biggest gap coaster-wise is a launch coaster, but having ridden it, I walked away very impressed. What makes this such a solid addition is that it not only gives a good thrill for both the general public and enthusiasts, but it also helps to bridge a gap between spinning dragons and the bigger coasters. When someone is experiencing coasters for the first time, they can logically work their way up by starting with the lower intensity coasters and then gradually working their way up, and Zambezi Zinger is a great first big thrill. And from an enthusiast standpoint, I wonder how the ride experience on this coaster compares to a ride like Invader at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So where would I rank Zambezi Zinger among the other coasters in this park? Well, in my Worlds of Fun review, I have my top 3 as Prowler, Patriot, and the Mamba, with Timberwolf taking the 4th spot. I think I would place Zambezi Zinger right in between Mamba and Timberwolf, so Zambezi Zinger is my 4th favorite in the park, with Timberwolf now taking 5th. Overall, I really like Zambezi Zinger, and I think others will come to like this one as well. It also opens up a bit of nostalgia for those who grew up on or just had the chance to ride the original. In fact, I feel like this coaster has potential to help build up Worlds of Fun in the coming years. See, in 2026, Kansas City is set to be one of the hosts of the World Cup, which means that a lot of people are going to be flocking to KC and Arrowhead Stadium. If Zambezi Zinger helps bring up attendance to Worlds of Fun, we could end up seeing 2026 as the year they receive their next big investment. That's going to do it for this video. If you haven't ridden Zambezi Zinger yet, I hope this encourages you to go check it out. And if you have already ridden it, be sure and let me know in the comments what your thoughts of it are. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Eject Your Airtime so you don't miss any future content.